All right, if you hold XRP, this is a $155 trillion emergency with the value of business to customer, customer to business, and customer to customer cross-border payments worldwide from 2016 and even 2018, going from $127 trillion to over $155 trillion by 2020, and forecasts all the way from 2022 and beyond, expected to reach beyond that. This is massive. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about how much of this is going to play a role into XRP to facilitate cross-border payments globally between massive banks. We have some breaking news to get into on the charts. We're going to be talking about XRP price prediction, XRP to Bitcoin, the US dollar breaking out, the DXY. We're also talking about the decline in U.S. equities, what Jerome Powell had to say at his recent speech, being more hawkish in regards to rate hikes, what that means for the Federal Reserve's balance sheet, how that plays a role into Bitcoin and the rest of the market compared to the past. And then we're talking about the BRICS alliance and what that means for XRP, and some market reports coming out from Pakistan talking about cross-border payments globally with Ripple XRP, and then BRICS Journal of Economics mentioning XRP as well too. So I got a jam-packed video for you guys today. Comment 777 if you're feeling blessed, comment 777 if you're feeling bullish, and if you're going to become the first millionaire in your family tree, you know what to do. Confirm it by tapping the subscribe button. Just tippity-tapperoo, tap it in, sink the putt. You're going to beat Shooter McGavin, and you're buying grandma's house back with XRP. Let's run it. All right, bull runners, welcome back. So with XRP sitting at 52 cents right now, a $27 billion market cap, Bitcoin sitting just above $26,000 with a $500 billion market cap, and the entire industry sitting at just above $1 trillion, with the liquidity that's going to flow into the crypto market over the next few years is going to be drastic. But the reason why, the liquidity has not flown in just yet is what I'm going to share with you with Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve. But looking at the XRP price chart, we can see that on the RSI, XRP is sitting at 33, just a little bit above oversold territory right here. But the sentiment is in favor of the bears right now ever since, July. End of July. So for about a month, XRP has been bearish. But there is this zone right here of resistance that if XRP can push to the upside, it'd see some critical resistance here between 55 cents all the way upwards of 60 cents. And then the support to watch for, if XRP cannot hold and Bitcoin trades bearish, if XRP cannot hold the 200 SMA right here in red, and we see a break to the downside, we more than likely could come back down here right around the 41 cent range, would act as massive support on the 11th, the 8th of May all the way to the 16th of May. And then also was resistance all the way back here in February and November of 2022. So this would act as a massive support for XRP. So if we were to see a rally up to this resistance right here, I would expect XRP to, see a rejection from there and potential trading to the downside alongside Bitcoin. Now I'm going to get into the charts here, and I'm going to talk about why something like this would take place for the rest of this year because of what the Federal Reserve is doing. And then for me personally, if XRP dipped within this range right here one more time, I personally would be buying more XRP. Now, not financial advice. I'm not going to tell you to buy XRP. Don't sell XRP. Just watch this video for educational and entertainment purposes only. Looking at XRP to Bitcoin's price chart, it's in this symmetrical triangle right here. And so historically, in the past, during the last few bull market cycles, during the 2017 one, XRP drastically outperformed Bitcoin. And that's what everyone is expecting for this next bull market rally leading up to the peak in October to December of 2025. And so, over the next few weeks, XRP could waddle around here for a period of time the rest of this year as the Fed raises the effective federal funds rate. But eventually what I'm expecting for XRP is a break to the upside. And then when we break this downward trending resistance right here, will be based on the Fed pivot and them starting to issue QE, quantitative easing, because as you can see, guys, they're tightening policies and everything that they're doing. And the dollar, the DXY, is rallying right now. The dollar broke out from this downward trending resistance right here, and we're pushing upwards at 64 on the RSI. So as the dollar gets into oversold territory, err on the side of caution here, because there will more than likely be a reversal coming very soon. So be careful. This could be, a fake out. I would expect the dollar to come back down to back test this downward trending support now. and the 200 moving average will act as support in red. And then it's above the 50 moving average, the 50 SMA as well too. And so, if once we see the dollar reverse, if we see that happen in the near term this year, then if the 200 moving average and the 50 moving average cross again, then we will see, some bearish price action for the dollar and some bullish momentum for Bitcoin later this year. So why is the dollar rallying and why is the crypto market seeing a sell-off? Well, the decline in U.S. equities, U.S. Treasury yields resuming their upward march, and data that indicated that the U.S. labor market was holding up well all contributed to the dollar index moving above 104. And Jerome Powell's speech at the Jackson Hole Symposium is in focus with investors looking for hints on whether interest rates will rise more than what Powell makes of the recent sell on U.S. Treasuries. Within the next 24 days and 22 hours on the CME FedWatch tool, 80% of people are expecting 525 to 550 target basis points, and then 20% are only expecting 550 to 575.
Turning to the path forward, 2% is and will remain our inflation target. We are committed to achieving and sustaining a stance of monetary policy that is sufficiently restrictive to bring inflation down to that level over time. It is challenging, of course, to know in real time when such a stance has been achieved. There are some challenges that are common to all tightening cycles. For example, real interest rates are now positive and well above mainstream estimates of the neutral policy rate. We see the current stance of policy as restrictive, putting downward pressure on economic activity, hiring, and inflation. But we cannot identify with certainty the neutral rate of interest, and thus there is always uncertainty about the precise level of monetary policy restraint. That assessment is further complicated by uncertainty about the duration of the lags with which monetary tightening affects economic activity and especially inflation. Since the symposium a year ago, the committee has raised the policy rate by 300 basis points, including 100 basis points over the past 7 months. And we have substantially reduced the size of our securities holdings. The wide range of estimates of these lags suggests that there may be significant further drag in the pipeline.
So what does he mean by drag in the pipeline? Well, it's based on their balance sheet with credit and liquidity programs with the Fed. And we can see right here that they've been tightening, since March 22nd. Well, it's even been longer than that. So, when the peak was in right around March, April, and then they started turning around right here, the bank runs caused that temporary spike and they just keep tightening. So as they keep tightening, that creates uncertainty in the markets. And so there would most likely not be a break of the high right here of Bitcoin in July until the Fed makes announcements that they plan on pivoting on their balance sheet and adding more QE, quantitative easing, adding more money and liquidity to the system. Otherwise, this tightening just causes investors to, move money out of the markets. And that's what we've seen happen right here. And then we saw liquidations of longs. Now, one thing to watch for, this would be interesting to see if this plays out similar to what happened back in 2019. As you guys can see, the last time that we were below 30 on the RSI was back in March of this year, but we bounced off of the 200 moving average. This time we broke below the 200 moving average, and we're testing this support back from June 15th of 2023, and it was also resistance in August of 2022. It was resistance in February of 2023, and so I'm expecting a reversal on the DXY and the DXY to trade bearish while Bitcoin trades bullish, similar to what happened back here in 2019. In the short term, we saw Bitcoin trade sideways. Once we saw a break below the 200 moving average, Bitcoin traded sideways for about 33 days. So I would expect something similar to take place. Now, it doesn't mean that it'll happen, but let's say hypothetically speaking, Bitcoin trades sideways over the next 30 days through September, and then October we see a rally for Bitcoin, and then we see something like a right shoulder here on this head and shoulders pattern, right? Left shoulder here, we see the head, we see the right shoulder. If we saw a bounce from this support right here, this would be the neckline to watch for. And if we saw a reversal on the right shoulder, similar to what happened right here, as Bitcoin broke and closed above the 200 moving average, but it could not hold it within this range, then we saw trading back down to the downside to make, another low for for that year before the end of the year closed. And so as we can see right here for Bitcoin, if we see a temporary rally in crypto and Bitcoin pushes up, upwards of, $28,000 to $30,000 to form a right shoulder here, I would err on the side of caution because we could potentially break from this RSI down here to the upside, similar to what happened right here in 2019. And go into close to oversold territory, break above the 200 moving average if we were to break it. And this could be a massive fake out for everyone for Bitcoin to reverse directions, until the Fed decides to pivot. Because for the rest of this year, Jerome Powell is going to be raising rates, most likely 25 basis points. And so something like this would be very, very interesting to watch for Bitcoin if it were to play out like this. And the chart, if I were to trace it up for you guys, looking very similar for Bitcoin to trade sideways, see a temporary rally followed by another dip. And then as you see what happened here, the market's one final bottom for COVID, but this was a black swan event. Everyone was expecting, like I talked about in previous videos, once Bitcoin broke above the 200 moving average again right here, everyone was expecting Bitcoin to go higher, but you couldn't have prepared for that black swan event and then those closures. Nobody knew that was coming. But once that happened, what did they do? What did the Fed do? What did the government do once this took place in 3 weeks? This took 3 weeks for this crash to happen. Bitcoin dropped 60%. Well, they signed the CARES Act. They started doing stimulus checks. And where'd those stimulus checks go? They went into the pockets of everyday people. And everyday people were then using the money to funnel into crypto, or they were paying their bills. But the wealthy that own the companies that retail people pay their bills for, their mortgage, your phone bill, your food, your insurance, all that stuff. The wealthy that own those companies use that money and put it into the stock market, into tech companies, and then they put it into crypto. And that's in hedge funds, and these massive portfolio capital companies pump the markets. And then we saw Bitcoin rally to $64,000. And then once the Fed decided that they were gonna, start pivoting or hiking rate hikes is, when the rally was pretty much over at that point. And so could something similar happen where the Fed just keeps going, they keep tightening, we just see Bitcoin maybe see a little bit more of a rally, 29, 30K, but they keep tightening, keeps investors in a state of uncertainty, right? That's where everyone's at right now. They're more uncertain than they are bullish. The people that aren't used to crypto, so it keeps them in a state of uncertainty, and then the Fed breaks something, we see a crash, then the Fed steps back in, they push more liquidity back into the economy, and then they just start pumping the markets again. Because in a previous video I made a while back, I talked about their plan for the gross debt raising to, like $50 trillion by 2030. We're at about $30 trillion. So $20 trillion of liquidity in debt, right? In debt to flow into the system. Where do you think that's going to go? That's going to go into the crypto market. So even if the chart looks something like this, similar to what happened in 2019, I feel it's going to play out very similar. So far it's played out pretty similar to 2019. The only major difference here is we didn't see, this frothiness on top of, a peak. It just kind of sees this rollover right here. There wasn't, this head didn't look like this, and come down. So Bitcoin didn't push all the way up of 40 or 50K, which obviously is different because the double top was different than the top of 2018. Right here, back in December of 2017, right before 2018, because the double top for Bitcoin was higher than the first top. Well, the double top for Bitcoin, or I guess you could call it the dead cat bounce, since it wasn't really double top, was lower than the top. So I would expect this next cycle right here to be different than the past cycle. Not every cycle is going to be the same, but in terms of the 4-year market cycle theory of Bitcoin's having, it runs generally similar. So I would expect sideways trading action. One more final dip for Sears, some pandemic, and then the Fed pivots and they try to stimulate the economy again. And then they usher in some new form of vaccine, or they usher in some new form of, something to hit the global economy. And what we're seeing right now with the fires across the globe, that might be part of what they're planning. So they don't reveal all their cards until after we know. But you guys can fill in the blanks, and if you want to share your thoughts in the comments below, let me know. And while the broader crypto market sees red in response to Jerome Powell's hawkish chatter, investors hope that Robinhood listing XRP will deliver some price support. And there's also reports of Western Union exploring the Ripple blockchain, also delivering some bullish news. And so, after the SEC's motion for interlocutory appeal, for those of you that are wondering what's going on with the lawsuit, Ripple must file any opposition to the SEC motion by September 1st. So over the next few days. And then on the daily chart as well too, XRP to the US dollar holding above, 49 to 47 cent support band. After the Friday gain, XRP sat above the 200-day EMA while remaining below the 50-day EMA, sending bearish near-term signals, but bullish long-term price signals with all the partnerships and announcements that I have to share with you in this video too. And look at the 14-day RSI, 35.2 reflects bearish sentiment, and the RSI aligns with the 50-day EMA, supporting a fall to sub 50 cents and supporting bands into play. However, an XRP hold above the 200-day EMA will give the bulls a run at 57 cents to 59 cents would be the resistance band and the 50-day EMA. Now, if we're looking at the chart right here, you guys can see all of these support bands right here. XRP is below them. It's right at the 50, the 50 moving average, the 50 simple moving average. And if we can't hold above these bands and we see Bitcoin kind of trade sideways, if Bitcoin trades sideways and doesn't really do anything, I would expect XRP to do the same thing, trade sideways, maybe for the next month and not do too much. And then if Bitcoin pumps up above the 200 moving average, I would expect XRP to do something similar right here. And then we see this downward trending resistance compared to the past 30 days where XRP could push in this range, come up here, fake everyone out, see one final dip, back down here, and I'll be backing up the truck getting ready for something like that. So XRP trades sideways. We see one final push up above 70 on the RSI, and then XRP gets slapped back and comes back down to 41 cents, pisses everyone off. The elite accumulate. They back up the truck as much as possible at this area right here. And then coming into 2024, if the Fed crashes the market, hey, maybe XRP dips a little bit lower and then breaks out of here. But ultimately, by 2025, I'm expecting XRP to make some massive moves. So, hey, if we can break and hold this support right here and we break to the upside and we move it sooner, that's awesome. Either way, I don't care which scenario takes place. If we go lower with Bitcoin, the Fed keeps tightening, they keep restricting their balance sheet, they're not putting money into the economy, and then we go into some type of global panic right there, you better have dry powder available and ready to deploy into the markets, into which projects you believe in, and I'll be back on the truck for precious metals as well too. And there's some big moments happening right now overseas to be aware of in the summit in Johannesburg and why they matter, because the BRICS group announced on Thursday that 6 countries are set to join the group in 2024. So by 2024, Iran, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Argentina, Egypt, and Ethiopia are expected to join. And right here, I posted this on the community section. Saudi Arabia, Iran, Ethiopia, now part of the BRICS alliance. And so as the East starts to expand, what does this mean for XRP? Well, that's a good question, because Ripple has revealed its strategic partnership with the Central Bank of Saudi Arabia to enhance the payment infrastructure banks for global cross-border settlements. Saudi Arabia's net export revenue was $311 billion, which accounted for 35% of all OPEC oil revenue back in 2022. Plus, Saudi Arabia's increased trade with China reshapes the foundation of the US dollar, previously supported by Saudi oil. So, a core of the petrodollar since the 1970s. Could this be the petro yuan now as China increases their trade? And as Saudi Arabia trades more with China than the USA, just recently joining the BRICS, the potential for the petro yuan rises with the transformation of global reserve currency fabric becoming apparent as the world shifts to CBDCs and distributed ledger technology. So now the majority of oil-rich countries, that are joining BRICS, with XRP positioning itself to bridge oil-related transactions, this is making a broader shift in the financial landscape, with Ripple and XRP gearing up to have some major moves when liquidity floods into the crypto market, because XRP on the XRP ledger would be used to bridge oil money. And so oil, or petroleum, is what's used to sanction countries for the United States, because it's called the petrodollar for a reason. And so, Ripple signing this new partnership is massive, guys. This is not something to, blink an eye at. This is a big deal right here. And the Digital Euro Association said they're excited to announce DEA members Fluency CBDC and Ripple as pioneers in MasterCard's CBDC program to enhance central banking digital currencies awareness and safe implementation. So whether you love CBDs or hate them, obviously they massive pros, massive cons as well too, but massive bullish news for XRP. And right here, we can see XRP to the US dollar pair on BNC, Brave New Coin. This was updated just a few days ago. On July 13th, the U.S. District Court of the Southern District of New York determined that Ripple XRP tokens, when sold on exchanges or through algorithms, did not constitute investment contracts. As a result, XRP does not immediately qualify as a security when it's being offered through programmatic sales to the public or distributed to employees of Ripple Labs. So, in light of the recent developments, Coinbase has reinstated trading for XRP. All these exchanges are starting to relist XRP following a thorough review of liquidity conditions on Coinbase. XRP to the US dollar and BNC Governance Index Committee has determined that the traded volume and order book depth meets the requisite criteria for XRP's re-inclusion in the XRP Liquid Index. So it's XRP LX, XRP Ledger X. The market pair will be introduced effective on, so just a few days ago, 3 days ago, and complete in 24-hour period. So it's already into effect right now. This allows for massive liquidity to flow through and XRP to benefit from that. And then also Ripple is entering testing phase with financial powerhouse Western Union. Western Union's CEO announced during a conference call with analysts that the company is investigating ways to utilize Ripple's blockchain and its native token. So, Ripple officially partnering with Western Union, massive move, guys. This partnership involves ongoing cooperation with the global financial service provider and the trial launch of XRapid, the payment solution that incorporates XRP. So, research conducted by Bitsum crypto exchange in South Korea also revealed that XRP is the preferred crypto amongst investors in their 20s. More than 20% of respondents in this age group chose XRP, indicating its popularity amongst younger traders. Now, obviously, younger traders have less experience than the boomers, but the boomers are used to traditional investment. So, when BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF, if that gets approved, 2024, then where do you think the boomer money is going to start coming? What do you think the institutional, the hedge fund money is going to start flowing into? Well, that's going to start flowing into the crypto market 2024 when the Fed decides to make that pivot. And the State Bank of Pakistan calls Ripple and XRP encouraging work. And so there's like a little pat on the back here in their 185 page document here. They say, while crypto assets offer some benefits, the realization of these benefits still require enabling preconditions. For example, to enhance financial inclusion through crypto assets, consumers need to be financially and digitally literate, the same challenge that consumers of traditional financial products face. Furthermore, while some encouraging work is being conducted to support cross-border payments through Ripple's XRP, it's still only a minuscule level compared to the volume of cross-border payments globally. The $155 trillion, guys. And so, with Ripple constituting just 10% of that, $15 trillion, $14 trillion of that, XRP is sitting at only, $30 billion. So that's a lot of liquidity to flow through XRP, massive market cap appreciation. Now, there's no guarantee there, but listen to this.
Of economics, and in the 22nd of August, there will be the BRICS meeting for shaping the world's economic situation. There we have a great document called On the Risking and De-Dollarizing Intra-BRICS Trade via Smart Contracts. So you can actually open a document. So there you have, for the people saying it's a conspiracy theory, the BRICS are coming for de-dollarization, as you can actually see here on the document. And now let's have a look at XRP. So there are 3 mentions for XRP, especially the escrow capabilities of the XRP ledger, and you can actually see here funds needed to execute a contract can be temporarily pre-stored in a linked virtual escrow-like account associated with the contract to guarantee fund availability at the time of execution. There you have XRP Ledger 2020. They also talk about smart contracts, and well, it's a very interesting article. I do recommend everyone to watch it. And we all know that the XRP Ledger supports escrow features and that it might have also the implementation of smart contracts, but that's a topic for the future. I just wanted to say this because we are in the verge of a very interesting meeting on the 22nd of August where the BRICS countries are going to have a meeting and they can change the way that the world is evolving. They are actually huge players right now, so all the highlights goes to BRICS right now.
Yep. So it's very interesting to see what's going to be playing out over the next few weeks, the next few months. But either way, for Ripple, I am super bullish for XRP. The XRP ledger is gearing up to make some massive moves. And once the Fed, starts to add to their balance sheet, more liquidity starts flowing into the economy, and we see the macro market outlook start to lean a little bit more towards the positive scale, then we're going to be backing up our truck all the way to the bank, grabbing the bags, packing them and stacking them, leaving no bags left behind, because the spending power of the dollar continues to go down through inflation and blockchain technology continues to go up in interest. That's the truth. And together, we're all going camping on the beaches of the moon. I will see you on the next video. I will see you on bullrunners.com. If you want to see our #1 way to earn passive income with crypto, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check that out in the description below. As always, you know what to do. Stay bullish.